What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Viking, and today I wanted to talk a little bit more about
these nuts.
I wanted to go over a few things you should know about with jitter aiming. First, what it is, how to do it, how to practice jitter aim. When should you use jitter aim? Because it's not all the time, and we'll talk about it in the video. What are the settings that I use to make it work for me personally, and what I think other pros and people are using to work on their jitter aim. But okay, this is jitter aiming. It's basically using mouse jitters to hit a target really accurately and not have to deal with learning the recoil. That's all it is. Nothing on top of that. All right. So you're basically getting a target that's somewhat hard to hit. And right now, you can hit it a lot more accurately from distances away. Right? You can have near perfect recoil control. So what I do is I've been doing it fingertip, and I base my forearm on the desk, and I tense up my arm. When I tense up my arm, you can notice on the screen, see, this is the target. I'm gonna aim at the head so you know what I'm doing here. If I aim at the target, you see that it's still. When I'm tensing my arm using this technique, you can tell that it's moving. There are micro movements, and this is me moving the mouse. This is me tensing up. You're basically shaking your arm. And what happens when you shake your arm is that it eliminates the recoil. All right. Now that you have a visual on the targets, now let's start practicing. Plant the arm, shake it, right? Shake. All right, let's go over one special tip that will help you become really accurate with jitter aiming. When you jitter aim, you have to be slightly faster than the actual fire rate of the gun. So for this gun here, if you're jitter aiming super fast, you may throw off the gun. So when you focus on the fire rate of the weapon, just try to jitter your hand at the speed at which it shoots. And then you get a really clean, really magnetic feel to your aim. It feels like it snaps back into place when you do this. This also works with the 301. But in this case, your jitter has to be a lot faster because it has a faster fire rate. But it's the same principle, slightly faster jitter than the fire rate of the weapon. It should get you on point. So this is my spot number one and where I like to practice my initial jitter shots. After this joint, you can go over here, all the way up. You can go on the other side as well. Just get different angles, but it really allows you to shoot targets at different ranges. So same targets right here. All right, this is the last spot that I go to finish practicing, warming up, training my jitter aim. You see this mountain back here, right? With the flat line and the 2x4 variable sight, you're going to aim. You see the target back here, this blue target here? You're gonna go above it, and where you see these two T's in between it, that is where you're going to hit the target. So the purpose here is to jitter aim and keep that T on that target. Keep your eye on the T and not the dot itself. But here we go. Let's try it. Focus on the T, focus on the target in the background of your Alrighty guys, now that we got some practice in, let's talk about when are you going to be using jitter aiming, right? Ideally, you're not going to use jitter aiming every single time. If you're this close, you can use just counter strafing or regular. The important thing is that you strafe to eliminate that recoil. Let's talk about mouse settings because that affects how much you have to jitter aim and how much you have to vibrate your arm to get your shots to get really accurate. So mine is pretty straightforward. I play at 1 in-game sensitivity. I play at 800 DPI. And to find out your in-game sensitivity, you would have to multiply your DPI by your in-game sensitivity. In my case, I play at 800 eDPI. I have mouse acceleration turns off. I have mouse invert off, lighting effects off, and I have this at a 1-to-1 ratio. That is it for my settings, and this works for me. You will notice that the higher you go up in sensitivity, the finer your movements have to be in order for jitter aim to be worth using. So it's like a lot of the high sensitivity players aren't really jitter aiming because their sensitivity and their aim is so sensitive that they can just correct it with small minor movements without needing to use this technique. So yeah, when should you use jitter aim? Not up close. If you're at this range, even, you can just strafe and make sure you're hitting your shots, get good. But if targets are far away and it becomes kind of difficult for you to hit them, right? Just invoke your jitter aiming powers and get to it. Look at that. This is so fun. I love jitter aiming. All right. That's it for me, guys. Thank you for watching the video, and we'll be catching you on the next one. Yeah. Bubble, fight bubble.
Knock one.